everyone. Today I'm going to show you how I make my cabbage soup. Now, everybody has their own recipe. Mine was inspired by The Biggest Loser. Probably about a month ago, they had a cooking contest, and one of the contestants on the show made something similar to this, and I thought it sounded so yummy that I had to try it. I tried it out on my family and on a few neighbors, and it was a hit, and there was no leftovers, and it makes a whole lot. So let's get started in this, okay? And here I have a little bit of safflower oil with some ground turkey browning up, and these are all the spices I'm going to use. Garlic powder, onion powder, seasoned salt, Italian seasoning, thyme, ground red pepper, and cumin. And then I have some tomato sauce, diced tomatoes, tomato paste, and you see my safflower oil. And then in back of all my chopped up vegetables, I have some chicken bouillon, reduced sodium. In here, I'm going to have to go down the list of all the vegetables that I've diced. I have 1 diced carrot. I have diced celery, 2 stalks of celery, diced onion, parsley, mushrooms, jalapeno, of course cabbage, and some diced tomatoes, some fresh ones. Now, somebody asked me about the oil that I use, about calorie intake. The thing about safflower oil is it's recommended by pretty much all doctors, all nutritionists. If you're going to use an oil, this is the best one to use. I'm not using enough to where, I mean, it's 1 tablespoon for 120 calories. I'm using probably 1/4 of that. So really, I mean, there's a lot more calories that I could have used besides just safflower oil calories. And do your homework, look this stuff up if you don't believe me. This is really good stuff to use. It's a little bit on the expensive side. That's why I usually buy it when it's on sale. That's probably the best time to use it. Now, getting back to the recipe. Okay. So I got some ground turkey here. And one thing about soups and stews, you can really ruin them if you don't layer the flavors. And what I mean by that is season everything, okay? So, season your meat as you're cooking it. It's really important to do so, especially if you're not using a whole lot of salt. You want those layers of flavor in there because they're going to all cook together in a soup or a chowder or a stew or whatever, and it's just going to be this wonderful flavor bouquet when it's all done. And I'm only going to use a little bit of seasoned salt here. And use as much or as little as you like. If there's some seasonings you don't like or it's too overpowering, don't use as much as I do. We just happen to like a lot of spice in our food in my family, including the kids. And spice, I don't mean heat, I mean spice, flavor, you know. I am adding some ground red pepper because I like that almost the heat and the chili flavor in the background, which is the cumin. So, well, it's all stuck in there. Well, shoot. I'm going to add about that much. And, oh wow, that's it for my seasonings. I thought I had more. So, as this is cooking, I am going to add all my vegetables. And you can get a lot of seasonings, a lot of flavor, rather, from vegetables that you use. And this is probably 3/4 of a head of cabbage, along with all the other vegetables I mentioned that I just chopped up. Now I added mushrooms to this. Typically mushrooms do not go in a cabbage soup. That's very typical, but we had mushrooms we needed to use, so I thought, what the hey. So I'm going to let these vegetables cook down and wilt down, and when I come back I'll show you all the other stuff we put in here. Hi everyone, I'm back. So this is what it's going to look like when everything's cooked through. And it only takes a couple of minutes. Just, you know, keep stirring it, let things wilt, what have you. So from here, we're going to add all our tomato-based stuff. Now, I've tried to look high and low, and if you don't believe me, ask my husband, to find no salt added tomato sauce and paste at my grocery store, and I can't find it. You don't know how bad I cannot wait until we get our tomatoes coming up this year, because there won't be any salt added to those because I control that. So, except for the salt that's naturally found in them. We can't control that. Only Mother Nature can. So, I added a whole can of diced tomatoes, a whole can of tomato sauce, and I'm going to add a whole thing of tomato paste. Some of you are going to say, that's a lot of tomato, that's this, that's that. The reason why I'm adding the whole can is because I like the way it thickens. And if you notice, I got a lot of vegetables in here. So what's going to happen is all those vegetables, they're going to soak up all that flavor. And it's just going to be another layer of flavor that you would want in a soup or a stew or chowder or chili or whatever. These are all the layers of flavor that you want. And wash that off my hands.
They're probably hearing a funny sound in the background. That is not my stomach. That's the coffee maker. It sounds like a tank coming through here. So.
Yeah, our coffee pot, it's one of those real noisy ones that you know the coffee's ready when it starts making all kinds of gurgling noises and stuff. It used to scare the kids, but now they're used to it. Okay, so I'm going to mix all that tomato stuff up in there. And see how that paste is just making everything so thick. It kind of looks like a chili. And that's the kind of flavor I like and stuff like this. You can do yours however you want to, but this is just what we like. And it's a cold, rainy day today in Maine. So my husband's not feeling well. I'm getting a stuffy nose. The kids are not really feeling 100%. So this is going to cure whatever ails you, as my mother would say. Everything cures whatever ails you. Okay, so I'm going to let this cook on the stove for about 20 minutes, and we'll be back so Toby can do his infamous taste test. Okay, we're back. So this is what the soup looks like when it's all done. From start to finish, it took about 20 minutes. The longest part of the soup that's going to take you longest anyway is the prep, all the chopping. So what you want to do is bring this up to a boil. When it comes up to a roll-on boil, shut it off and just let it sit there with the cover on, and then it will soak up all those flavors and be done. And I think it sat there for about 10 minutes. So just until the boiling stops. So I'm going to take over the camera and I'll let Toby do his taste test. So live, laugh, and love, everybody.
Alright, this is going to come in especially handy today, as you may can tell. I'm not feeling so hot. My gizzard needs warming, and this has all the stuff to warm a gizzard.
Or choke a goat.
Or choke a goat. I'm an old goat, does that count?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, wow. That is really, I think this is better than the last batch. And that's saying a lot. I'm going to warm my gizzard and go get some rest. Enjoy the soup, everybody. Till next time, adios.